News 10 NBC at noon starts right now.
I have 7 children, all under the age of 11, and I can only imagine, 3 children of my own. I would imagine that they're traumatized.
Greece Police Chief Drew Forsyth says it has been an all-out search for 5-year-old Dimitri Cash Jr. and 3-year-old Shakiria Cash. State police and Greece police issued an Amber Alert at midnight for the 2 young children when they disappeared from their foster home. This is Shakiria and Dimitri Cash Jr. Police say Shakiria has braids and was last seen wearing panda pajamas. Dimitri has short black hair and was wearing either fire truck or dinosaur pajamas. Police are looking for 2 men they say abducted the children. News 10 NBC Chief Investigative Reporter Berkeley Breen just spoke to the U.S. Marshal and Greece Police and joins us now live with new details. Burke, what can you tell us?
Well, Lynette, they described this as a planned and targeted attack. Just before 9 o'clock last night, 2 men in ski masks broke into this foster home through a window. When the crash of that broken window happened, police say 2 of the 7 children living in that foster home ran downstairs into the arm of their foster mother, and then police say this happened.
At which point, the 2 suspects then grabbed all 3 of them, used duct tape to forcibly tape all 3 together. Once they did that, they also put tape over the female homeowner's mouth to prevent her from screaming.
At that point, police say the 2 men ran upstairs at the foster home on English Road and grabbed the 2 children and drove away with them in the family's van. Police say, GPS tracked the van to an apartment complex on Whitehall Drive 3 miles away, but right now, that is where the trail ends. The children's biological father is named Dimitri, and he's currently facing charges for taking one of his children from their school in Greece last year.
Our first priority is certainly to find these 2 children. The father, Dimitri, is definitely somebody that we need to speak to. We are attempting to locate him, and we're imploring the media, the public, the residents of Greece, the residents of this great city and county. We need your help. I'm not going to stand up here and say that we know where these guys are, these beautiful little children, because we don't. And we need the help of the public to find them.
So there is security video at the foster home, but police say the suspects were wearing ski masks. So what they want people to do right now is to check your home security video. If you go to my Twitter page right now, you're going to see a map that shows where the abduction happened and where that van was left on Whitehall Drive. If you live along that route, start checking your home security video. We don't have a description of the van yet. We don't have a subscription of the second getaway car. But start looking at about 8:40 last night. Look for that van. Look for any other car that seems out of place or suspicious. If you see something, if it's captured on your home video, pick up your phone right away and call 911. We're live in Greece, Berkeley, Breen News 10 NBC.
Burke, thank you. It's been a jarring scene for neighbors in the area. We spoke to some of the people who live on English Road. One man says he saw a van pull up in front of the foster home, but he didn't think anything of it at that time until police showed up later. One woman says she's terrified that this happened in what she calls a quiet neighborhood.
I was scared because I have 2 granddaughters here. They're 7 years old, and it kind of scared me that this is happening in a good neighborhood. So I was shocked. I was really shocked.
We also spoke to people at an apartment complex on Whitehall Drive near where the van was later found. They didn't want to go on camera, but neighbors tell us it was quiet last night. Here's another look at Shakiria and Dimitri Cash Jr. Police say Shakiria was last seen wearing panda pajamas. Dimitri was last seen wearing pajamas with fire trucks or dinosaur pictures on them. If you have seen them or have any information on where they can be found, you're asked to call 911 or Greece Police at the number that you see there on the screen. We also have that number and the very latest information in this story on WHEC.com. Essential workers in Monroe County are lining up outside the Rochester Riverside Convention Center this morning. They're waiting to get their COVID vaccines. This morning's event almost didn't happen thanks to a shortage in supply. Luckily, one local hospital was able to help out. News 10 NBC investigative reporter Jennifer Lukey joins us now from the convention center. Jen, what's the scene been like out there this morning?
Well, Lynette, just before we came on the air here at noon, they let the remaining part of the line inside. But I can tell you the last few hours have been very frustrating for a lot of folks who were told to come here today to get their COVID-19 vaccine. I want to show you this video. Let's get right to it because this is what it looked like outside the convention center when my photographer Andy arrived around 10:30 this morning. There were at least 100 people, maybe more, lined up and around the side of the building. And that is because these folks were told to come here that these vaccinations would start at 11 a.m. So a lot of people got here 8 or 9 a.m. They wanted to be first in line. They wanted to make sure they got a spot, and they were not let inside. There were some problems this morning, some technical problems, some supply problems. Dr. Nancy Bennett actually tweeted about this. She's in charge of COVID vaccine distribution in Monroe County, and she said that Monroe County did not get its distribution today of COVID-19 vaccine that they were expecting. So UR Medicine stepped up and gave them some of its supply in order to get these essential workers inside the building and starting to get them vaccinated. Now, again, we talked to a lot of people who were in line. They were upset about this because, one, they weren't sure whether they were going to get the vaccine that they had signed up for and secured a spot for, and two, they weren't getting any answers. They were told to wait outside.
They're now coming out and saying it's at least an hour, maybe 2 hours before we even get the vaccine here. And then when you say, well, can you at least let us wait inside? It's a big building. I'm 75. Look at the average age of this crowd. Not a good idea to have a bunch of your senior citizens standing in the cold when you have enormous space inside.
They actually did remain standing in the cold for quite some time. Around 11, the line finally started moving, and from the folks who are leaving now are telling us inside, once things did get moving, they started running a lot smoother. Now, we are still waiting to talk officially with our county executive, Adam Bello, or Dr. Michael Mendoza, our health commissioner, or Dr. Bennett in person to see exactly what happened and how it happened here. But again, it does appear that the essential workers, and there were some in this group who were 65 plus who also qualified for the vaccination that had appointments, they are getting those vaccines, and they are sort of moving on after quite an eventful morning. So we'll have much more on this story tonight at 5 o'clock. But for now, we are live at the Riverside Convention Center. Jennifer Lukey, News 10 NBC.
Jennifer, thank you. You can find all of our COVID vaccine coverage on WOHEC.com and on the News 10 NBC app. That includes a full breakdown of the state's distribution plan.